friends, happy Friday. Hope your weekend is off to a great start. Mine sure is. I'm happy to be here with all of you, smoking the Matches Memorial Friday 7 Ellie as is tradition, loaded with Haunted Bookshop, and looking forward to getting into it and seeing who all is hanging out with us tonight on this fine Friday evening. Let's see, there's Cliff Higgins. Hello, Cliff. Clarence Wood, St. David's Pipes. Good to see you, David. Corvette Jim, Burley Nut Bob, Steve Russell, Pensive Piper, Signal Man Tony from Rhode Island. How you doing, Tony? Ocho Ida, good to see you there, buddy. And Name That Pipe. Good crowd already. Almost up to 30. I haven't seen my stream catch up to me yet, so I have no idea if I'm live or not. But I hope I am. Yeah, I appear to be. So that's good. It's always disconcerting when I realize I've been talking to myself for 30 seconds. Yeah, I just popped up on my screen, so. And I did get a warning tonight that there was something about poor stream quality and there may be buffering or something. It's not my network. The network connection is fine, so I don't know what's going on out in YouTube land. I hope it's not an issue for you guys. Bona Piper, hello there, Christian. Good to see you tonight. Gary Edminster, Dry Fly Fisher 11, doing just fine, my friend. Good to see you tonight. And VidMaze 82, I don't think I caught you earlier. Infriginator, thank you so much. And right back at you, buddy. Bearwolf and Miss Kathy, how you doing tonight, folks? Good to see you. Michael Case, 70 and sunny in Western Oregon. My goodness, drinking black Coke. Good for you. It was, I think the high today was 63, and it wasn't there for very long. Cold this morning. Christian says everything's working smoothly, and he's in a whole other country, so if it's working for him, it's working for everybody. I don't know if it's the storm, Clarence. I really don't know. I just got this little warning when I started the stream that popped up and said, you know, there's poor stream quality or viewers may experience buffering. So then I went and checked my network speed and all that, and it's fine. So it's not, whatever it is, it's a YouTube thing. But thank you, Big Dave. Good to see you, Dave. And if I'm coming in loud and clear, I'm just going to ignore it and let me know if it gets bad. But there's nothing I can do. So. Codger Jim, yeah, well, not really. I've started turning the furnace on for about an hour in the morning and then turning it off just to take the chill off because we were 48 this morning. And, you know, I don't do it for me. I do it for the dogs. I do it for me. Now, the missus is still in Pittsburgh. And I'm not kidding. It was 48 degrees this morning when I woke up, and the house temperature was in the low 50s, which is kind of chilly to wake up to in the morning. And I was talking to her tonight, and she was complaining because she's staying at her sister's house in Pittsburgh, and it's only 72. So but she tells me not to turn the furnace on here. Well, I got to be careful with what I say. There's a chance she might be watching. Big Dave says it's storming in Tucson. Last day of the monsoon season for 2022. Let's hope so. 49 in Virginia. Yeah, it's I don't know what the temperature is here, but it's probably close to that now. Thank you, Infriginator. Good to know that I've got trust like that in you guys. No, I am turning it on in the morning, and I told her I am. She said to leave it on if I want to, but it's really not necessary for most of the day. And the problem is, you know, I either pick a temperature that's so ridiculously low that it doesn't matter, or it's going to be bouncing on and off all day. So it's probably more fuel efficient to just put it on for an hour in the morning, get the chill off, and let it go. Oh no, Couch. That's terrible. Hey, don't throw it away. Send it to me. I'll tune it up for you. We can get that back working. Couch says he left a pipe out in the rain. Couch left the pipe out in the rain, and he doesn't think that he can take it because it took so long to make it. And sorry, that was for Tim Fournier's enjoyment, and I don't see Tim here yet. So the king of earwigs. I heard from him earlier. He has a special blend he's going to be smoking tonight, but I haven't seen him yet. The basement fridge, thanks for asking, Infriginator. I've moved it back down to the basement. I haven't actually plugged it in yet. I wanted to give it a couple days to settle, and then I just got busy with other things, so I haven't moved it into its final spot and plugged it in. But it should work. It was working fine before I cleaned it. So, Phil Rivara, hello Phil, good to see you tonight. And there's the Urban Hermit. How you doing, Everett? Name that pipe. There's Tim Fournier. How you doing, Tim? We were just talking about you. St. David Pipes is asking, where can you get a replacement stem for a Rossi Vittoria semi-bent? I would guess that you could contact Rossi about it. You could also try Tim West at jhlow.com. Jim Finn, who is premiumpolishedpipes.com. I was just talking to Jim yesterday, actually, and he's been doing really well with his pipe repair and restoration work. And of course, there's Briarville, briarville.com. So any of those could make your replacement stem. Couch has a special blend for later tonight too. And Tim was talking to his boys. Well, that's a good thing to be doing, Tim. ENAS Dad, how you doing there tonight, Robert? Bearwolf and Miss Kathy are asking, how'd the fishing trip go? Better than the one I told you about in my earlier video this week. I haven't caught it yet, Steve, but I don't know. I kind of got skunked. So I didn't catch anything. I had a couple strikes that I couldn't hook up. But it was a beautiful day to just be out walking along the stream. I had a fantastic time. So happy I went. Catching the fish is just a bonus. Bona Piper had a bowl of G.H. Bob's chocolate today. Wonderful blend. High quality. Virginia's mainly, a bit of Burley and Latakia. Yeah, I think it was Everett that was just telling me about Bob's Chocolate Flake the other day. And I think I've got a tin of that I've got to dig out. Maybe I'll do that as a holiday blend kind of thing. I was on your TV, Tim. Well, you missed a great earwig. Ah, Phil, that stinks. Fried monitor on his PC from power tripping. Sorry to hear that, buddy. Tim Fournier saying Lazarus pipes, maybe. I don't have any direct dealings with them, Tim, but if you're suggesting them, it's another option for sure. My tamper tonight is one that was made by a dear friend of mine who prefers to remain anonymous, but made out of a couple of shell casings. Really beautiful, very utilitarian tamper. I take this with me quite often when I go out, and had it handy tonight, so I thought I'd use it as the tamper of the week. And I got my spooky Zippo out here, which is not actually intended to be spooky. Just a reminder. Just a reminder for all you people out there that speak Latin. Yeah, there's not a lot they can do in the monitors these days, Phil. It's cheaper to get a new one than to try to get it repaired. Patrick Grant, how you doing tonight, Patrick? Okay, Tim. So Tim smokes with Jim at Lazarus Pipes all the time, and he has some of his estates. So we're getting some first-hand knowledge of them. So that's another option you got for your pipe repair there, Lazarus Pipes. And I'm assuming that's lazaruspipes.com. There's Sailor. How you doing, Sailor? Smoking a Briarworks Prince with Old Joe Krantz and Johnny Walker Black on the rocks on the side. Very nice. And Corvette Jim is smoking an RC Sands Poker and Old Dark Fired. I was very sorry to see, I guess it was yesterday that Jim mentioned on Instagram that RC Sand actually has passed away. Was a shock and quite a loss. He's a fine pipe maker. MTB. I tried dries and I tried nymphs. Even fished some wet flies. Swung some wet flies. Had the most success with the wet flies actually. There was no surface action at all, which isn't surprising for this stream this time of year. If I would have waited, because I didn't stay out too late, close to sunset, you sometimes get some midge activity this time of year. But I hate fishing midges because my close-up vision right now is terrible. I have to wear reading glasses, and to tie on a midge is just more trouble than it's worth. Good evening, George Tiedemann. Good to see you tonight. Okay, Tim. So if anybody's interested in Lazarus Pipes, let me know. Maybe we'll work that out, Tim, and I can say something about it on Sunday. Because it's always good for folks to have options. Cliff says they're up to 50 and looking for 62. Woohoo! Patrick Grant is smoking some Drexel. Is that 6? And Romalusite 673KS. And there's Ponderance of a Gravedigger smoking Nerup with a local blend of peaches and cream. Fantastic. Andrew Sirigliano, how you doing tonight, Andrew? Ochoito's got Quiet Nights in his 7LE 320. Infringinator is asking, has the YTPC ever grown their own tobacco? Not as a group, which we will do if Steph ever gets us the Carter Hall, if she ever hits the lottery, the Carter Hall estate. But several folks have. I mean, I've grown some burley, and Tamper Tantrum has grown quite a bit. I know other folks have too. So yes. Bid Mays just finished a bowl of Yorktown and a corn cob. Very good. Yeah, good stuff. I had some Yorktown last Saturday, actually. I had some Yorktown. Doug Owen. Good evening, Doug. Yeah, Phil, I got one of them. Well, I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, you should be able to see that. I got this guy here, but I hate tying flies with that. But the problem is when I'm on the stream and I have to actually, thread the eye with the tippet. Name That Pipe is smoking Boswell's Railroad Station in a Hackert Poker with a Guinness Stout. Nice. I am smoking, well, you know what I'm smoking. I am drinking too. And what I'm drinking is quite interesting. So I went to pick up some beer yesterday and wanted to get the Yingling Oktoberfest. And they didn't have any of it in 6-packs, but they did have the pick your own 6-pack kind of thing where you can pick 6 random, well, not random beers, but from the collection of beers that are in the cooler, you can pick out 6. They had the Yingling Oktoberfest in there. So I got 4 of those. I didn't want to be a jerk and take the last 2. So right next to it was this. Oktoberfish by Flying Fish Brewery. And I've had some good stuff from Flying Fish, although they do seem to be heavy on the IPA stuff. But this is a German lager, and it says, because the only thing more accurate than the description on a tobacco tin is the description on a beer bottle. We present this German-style lager in celebration of the season, to be enjoyed with fest, fare, and especially when paired with lederhosen. Now, I happen to be fresh out of lederhosen, but despite that, I am enjoying the beer. It's nice. It's like a hoppy lager. I mean, it's not IPA hoppy, but there's definitely some hop there. But it's got the nice smooth lager thing going on. ENAS Dad smoking Peterson University Flake in a Castello Lavat. Nice. Static Kling magnifying lenses. I've seen those, Phil. They look pretty cool. Oh, Gary, no need to drink alone. Just, you can drink along with me. Ron Hardcrackers. Making the best of COVID. Son and daughter-in-law have COVID and they're in stay-at-home restrictions, spending all his time smoking meat, salmon, brisket, and ribs and keeping it all for themselves. That's not right. Bona Piper ordered some Scarecrow from C&D with some John Cotton double-pressed cream. Has anyone tried those? I've not had either of them. Yeah, Doug, I've seen those boxes you're talking about. I haven't tried them out yet. I mean, I'm okay. I've got a pair of flip down cheaters that go on the visor of my hat, and I'm usually okay with that. But you know, with midges, I'm talking about like size 22, 24 hooks. Um, I couldn't, when my up close vision was perfect, I couldn't hit those. So I don't know. Smoking Kentucky Piper, good evening. Oh, Ron, that's one way to deal with the neighbors, but I hope you're feeling okay. I might try that. I wonder if I could just get a t-shirt that's... No, that wouldn't be nice. That wouldn't be nice at all. But it would keep the neighbors away. Oh. It's funny, sometimes I forget whether I'm using a pipe lighter or just a regular insert. There's very little difference about them unless you think you've got the pipe lighter and you know, hold it like this and try to draw through this. That doesn't work. Well, Doug, I'll have to look more carefully at those boxes. Maybe, I don't know how big they are. Maybe if I could just get a small one for midges, that would be useful. But you know, it's more than that. I can't see them on the surface. You know, it's just hard to fish them. I think, you know, 18-year-old kids have trouble fishing midges. There's a good t-shirt idea, Phil. Is that right, Tim? Sometimes Tim loves a rainy night. Do you love to watch the thunder and the lightning while it falls from the sky? Oh, Robert, I like that. Like a good neighbor, stay over there. I may have to learn to play that on the guitar just so I can sing it. Oh, Cliff. Well, you have a good time with those. I'm not gonna say it. Enjoy your chicken, Cliff. Thanks for joining us, buddy. Yeah, I know, Doug. I mean, to be honest, even I was fishing size 16, no, 18. And with all the leaves and stuff that are out on the water now and the foam and all that, I was looking ahead of my fly line and, just hoping that I was looking in the right area to see a strike. Yes, MTMTB, you can fish two. In fact, I think you can fish more than two, uh, which I've never done because they just get tangled up. Ponderance of a Gravedigger is asking if anyone knows of any good Halloween-related tobacco blends, maybe candy-related with chocolate notes. I know Sleepy Hollow is pretty popular. I don't know if Sleepy Hollow is still being made. That's more of an autumn, I think it's like a cinnamony, spicy kind of thing. I had it and it's too aromatic-y for me. That's not too bad, Ron. I'm running low on regular pipe cleaners too. And I was going to order some, but I'm not going to pay shipping for $2 or $10 worth of pipe cleaner. So I'm waiting for Haunted Bookshop to come back in stock so that I can add that on to get free shipping on the pipe cleaners. Yeah, sailor, I know that kind of fly fishing, and that can be fun too. Big flies and big fish. I'm just a small stream guy. That's what I enjoy, but I'm not opposed to it. You're down in the I forget exactly where, but you're like Texas area somewhere. I'm guessing you're doing coastal like red fishing, that kind of stuff. What in the world? For some reason, my this is interesting. I got to find out what just happened here. Excuse me for a moment. Okay, this is a little frightening. I have no idea what this means. My phone just started playing Spotify Upon the Fawn, Land of Blood and Sunshine, and it's got this horrible horned goat on the cover. That's a little creepy. And I don't know why I did it. It must have thought I asked for something. Anyway, hey, there's Mon Claude Guns Dam. How you doing, Mike? Good to see you tonight. We're getting a lot of recommendations there for Halloween sort of things, and they are going to be making Sleepy Hollow on October 31st. Okay, cool. Yardism, how you doing, Chad? Good to see you tonight. Oh yeah, Pepe, that is some beautiful fishing there. For sure. Yeah, I think there might have been some possession going on there, Monclaud. That was a little creepy. Yeah, Ponderance, I agree with you. For me, Haunted Bookshop is the ultimate Halloween blend, but I also think it's the ultimate Christmas blend, so you shouldn't be asking me. Oh, okay, the Watch City blend. Yeah, that's something that I was actually just talking to my buddy Jim Finn about that yesterday. He was telling me about the, I don't know how to pronounce that blend. But they weren't certain they were going to be able to make it this year, apparently, because it's, I think the St. James Perique was hard to get this year. You know, Tim, I'm honestly not listening to death metal. I don't even really know what that is, although I can guess. I mean, I know what metal is and I know what death means. So it's bizarre because the only thing I listen to on Spotify are podcasts. So I have no idea what was going on there. Must have been the Halloween talk, Ponderance. Yeah, thank you. That makes me feel better. All right, Smoking Kentucky Piper. Thanks much, and I appreciate you continuing to watch there, buddy. Vision, I don't know how to pronounce that. Visions of Caliphas or Celiphias is a spooky blend, Monclaude. Not a bad blend, but a little grapey. So. Tim, I'd love to get a poker game going. You know, but you know that ain't really smart. Wait, Tim, it's a shame you didn't catch the earwig earlier. You would have enjoyed it. I don't remember what it was. I just remember thinking, darn, Tim's not here. He would have really enjoyed this. And I put one in the bumper tonight for you, too. Doug is a leg man. Yeah, apparently Cliff is, yeah. We're talking about chickens. Gary Edminster, thank you so much for the reminder. Yes, please do hit that like button, guys. It helps get the word out about the live stream. And the more folks we get in here, the merrier. Pondering with Pepe's Pipes is asking if we like cribbage. Anybody like cribbage? I've played cribbage. Don't often get to play it just because there's not many folks that play it. That's what it was, Tim. So you did hear it. Okay. Kirk from Florida. How you doing, buddy? I hope you're doing well down there in Florida. You don't have sharks swimming in your front yard or anything. Oh, St. David, so sorry to hear that, buddy. Yeah, go lay down and feel better soon. We'll be thinking about you. There's Lazarus Estate Pipes now. He apparently heard Tim. It's like Beetlejuice. You say his name and he appears. How you doing, buddy? Doug's giving Tim the business for quoting Richard Harris. It was my fault, Doug. Corned beef and cribbage is close enough, Michael. Yeah. Stratman thinks cribbage sounds delicious. No, cribbage is fun, although to be honest, I've played it a few times. I don't know if I was ever playing by the right rules, but we had fun. Pondering with Pepe's Pipe is asking, what's my favorite pipe for smoking during fall and winter? Honestly, I smoke all my pipes year round. I don't really have seasonal pipes, except for my Halloween pipe. That's the only one that's really seasonal. There you go. Gary dropped 2 pipes in the water, went snorkeling to get them, and dried them out, and they're fine. So yeah, there's hope for that pipe, Couch. Euchre, yeah, that's a game, Lazarus. That's a game. I'm sure it is fun when you play by the rules, Pepe. I'm just not sure I was playing by the rules. But it was still fun. So I am done with this haunted bookshop here. And I'm actually gonna finish up this pipe, which I was smoking before we got started. This is actually a little, I think that's a Prince little shop pipe that I have. It's an Orlick pipe, in terrible condition. I haven't cleaned it up in a while or anything, but I smoke a lot of aromatics out of, well, not a lot of aromatics, but occasionally on the weekends I'll have some Autumn Evening or some of that Dan Tobacco Honeydew. 2 of the aromatics that I can stand. Nutty Irishman is another one. Usually, if I'm going to smoke it, it's on a Saturday or Sunday morning. But also a lot of haunted bookshop and stuff. And I was smoking some haunted bookshop in this before we got things started tonight. So I'm going to finish it up before I move on to another one. Calvin and Hobbes playing Calvin Ball? Yeah, it might be similar to that, Ron. It might be. I don't remember how I played it, to be honest. Yes, thank you, Patrick and Lazarus. This is a nice pipe. It does smoke well. It's kind of a shame that I turned it into a shop pipe, but it just kind of wound up down here, and such is life. So Hillbilly Piper is asking, can a meerschaum be dyed? Like, can you color it? I have no idea, Hillbilly. I mean, I would guess you could, but it may not. There's nothing in the meerschaum structure that's going to hold the dye, so it would continue to bleed out, would be my guess. Mid-Maze is loading up a bowl of Chatham Manor. Oh, is there a haunted bookshop thing that I missed, Tim? Sorry. That's my concern, Hillbilly. I don't think it'll stay. And I think if there's any moisture on your hand at all, just regular skin moisture, it's going to come off on your hand. But I could be wrong about that. I've never tried to do it. It's just a guess. But, knowing that meerschaum is basically rock, foamy rock, you're not going to get stain to stick to rock, I don't think. Silicon, it's sand and magnesium chloride. So, yeah, I don't know. I've never tried it. Ponderance likes old Willards for shop pipes. You could spray paint it with Rust-Oleum. That would probably stay. Yeah. Good ones, though. I've never had that problem, Michael. I know a lot of folks are very persnickety about, I shouldn't say persnickety, but they don't like to relight a pipe after it's been out for a while. Same with cigars. You know, there are guys that if a cigar goes out, they will not relight it, they just throw it away. I've never had a problem with it. Yes, it is a secret how much haunted bookshop I have, Everett. Thank you. Because I don't actually know. Ah, okay, Hillbilly. A pumpkin meerschaum bowl for his falcon. Gotcha. Gary says he had a Benoit mirror that was red in color and stayed that way until he broke it. And I saw Doug said that they can be colored, but it has to be baked on and then waxed. Yeah, definitely some of the different grades. Not necessarily lower grade. I mean, lower grade if what you're looking for is pure white, but some of the African meerschaums, like the Kikos, are black or brown. Some of them have marbling in them, and they're good quality meerschaum. They just don't look as pretty. Ron has got some U.S. made Carter Hall and a K Woody Super Grain apple with a summer finish. Sounds nice. Ah, okay. So Lazarus is saying that he's got lots of tins for sale, and he's got 4 haunted bookshop tins for sale. Gotcha. Gary's coloring up a large mirror. Very nice. Ah, geez, that's terrible, Steve and Kathy. Sensor in the transmission of his truck is going to cost almost $1,000. You know, those darn sensors, it's unbelievable how expensive they can be. Sounds like it would be less expensive, you know. I don't know. A sensor doesn't sound like something that should cost that much. But I guess the part of the reason they can be so expensive is the labor to get to them, to replace them. Ponderin says he had to return some Missouri meerschaums because the quality's not what it used to be. The African mirror is heavy. I did not realize that, Gary. XJ, how you doing, buddy? Good morning, sir. It's good to see you. I didn't know that. Peterson made a line of African mirrors. That's interesting, Doug. Kevin Berenger, yes, I am a happy Eagles fan right now. But don't worry, they'll do something to disappoint me. They always do. Patrick has 4 Turkish mirrors. Very nice. You're kidding, Jim. To get a key cut for your Ford is $169. Man, I'd be getting out my files and trying to make my own. Which I'd fail miserably at and still have to spend $169, but I'd at least try. Doug says there's a good chapter on the Peterson mirrors in the Peterson pipe history book. And Gary Edminster is pointing out that Christopher Lee played Sherlock in 2 movies and smoked Peterson meerschaums in both. Car keys in XJ's neck of the woods cost over $500. That's the electronics, yeah. Reflection in the mirror. Gotcha, Piper said. I was confused by your previous one, but that makes a little more sense. Thank you. Ponderance, you're asking me if I'm ever going to do any more pipe restoration videos. I don't know. They take a lot of work, and honestly, I think I've demonstrated just about everything I know. So it's hard to, they get repetitive fast, and I realize that people don't go back and watch the old ones, but I don't know, and plus I'm not restoring many pipes these days. Kevin, I have no idea what's going on with the Briar Blues channel. If anybody else knows, you want to fill Kevin in? I don't know. Oh, Tim, you used that one last week. Yeah, Lazarus, it's fun to do it, but it takes so much editing and stuff. And you know, I can do a pipe restoration if you know I work full out. I could get it done in a day, but if I record it, it takes me like a week. It really adds a lot of time. Gary Edminster, I'm really glad to hear that the pipe, was that the pipe mud or pipe mortar that you used on the Lorenzo? So glad to hear that's helping folks. Yes, Couch and I have the same Ryobi driver, and it's a beautiful tool. Yeah, Doug, I'm not a fan of the mirrors, partly for that reason. Partly because I just like Briar. Yeah, XJ, I know that's a good point. The repetition doesn't really matter, and yeah. But my whole goal in making those videos was to teach people, and you know, I feel like I'm just trolling for views if I'm doing something I've already done. Corvette Jim says that Briar Blues explains whatever's going on in his last video. So whoever it was that asked that question can go watch that video and find out what's going on. Okay, Gary, so you use the pipe mud. Well, that's great. Okay, Tim, but remember, if I knock twice on the pipe, you know what that means. Wait till car dealers start leasing your keys. Yeah. It's a good point, Michael. I am a woodworker, not a stonemason, so that might be why I prefer Briar. Yeah, I'd like to do more fly tying. I hope to do it this winter. As you can see, I've actually got my, I don't know which side I'm pointing to here. I think it's back there. I've got my Vise is still set up from Wednesday morning when I knocked out a couple flies real quick before I went fishing. That's how things have been going this week. I planned to put that away Wednesday evening and was too wiped out to do it, and then I was going to do it Thursday when I had breaks in work, and I was going to do it today when I had breaks in work. Well, there weren't any breaks in work, and it's still sitting there. Kevin, that's the best part of fishing, though. You're teaching the next generation to love it, and there'll come a time when they'll be your fishing buddies, your best fishing buddies. So you're doing a good job there. Sailor used to buy only Makita power tools, but recently purchased some Ryobi products. Not bad for the money. No one beats his Delta planer. Yeah, I I switched over to Ryobi a couple years ago. I just wanted to standardize on one battery system because I wanted to get more of the cordless stuff, and I really like it. The Ryobi One system is good. The batteries seem to be very reliable. They have enough, amp hours to they last for the job. I'm not having to constantly switch batteries, so I'm pretty happy with Ryobi. Yeah, Doug, that'll be interesting. Cards and Phillies. I don't expect the Phillies to do well, but it'll be interesting. Yeah, Pepe, I've had Meerschaum line briar pipes that I've really enjoyed. Um, so I'm not saying Meerschaum doesn't have its place, but okay, Ponderance. Yeah, I'd love to do some more fly tying videos, but the ones I've done just didn't look good. I have to figure out better how to film it. Fishing is a lot of repetition, XJ. You're right. I'm done with this. So I'll let that sit for a bit, and I'll switch over to another one in a minute. Yeah, that is a nice driver couch for sure. I have the driver, I have a screw gun, and I have a brad nailer. I'm looking at them now, that's why. And they're all the Ryobi, the same battery system and everything. Really happy with them. I also have a Ryobi planer that's older, and that's served me well. I don't use power planers that often, but it works well. Yeah, XJ, one bad experience like that can certainly set you off. I, I don't know if I don't know. Pedestal drill is a different beast altogether than a drill driver. So I don't know if I would have bought one of those from Ryobi. There's Jim PM. Says he's coming in late, but he's got 4 noggins, bald-headed teacher, and a Molina bent apple, and it's tasting good. Fantastic. Codger Jim, indeed fishing is fun. Catching helps, but it's fun even without it. Yeah, Doug, it's not easy to show that because they're so small. Getting the arms back there, you often lose that in the video. Pepe's asking, would you even rather naked pipes or no stain pipes? I have one of those. I have some of them. I've got one that's over 30 years old, an Irish Second. I don't think they smoke any different. I think this whole idea of briar breathing is a bunch of nonsense. Briar doesn't breathe. Wood doesn't breathe. That's why boats work. So. Yeah, Phil, there apparently is more to life than hunkering over a smartphone, although a lot of people don't seem to understand that. I yeah, I went to the doctor's the other day, yesterday actually, and the number of people sitting in the waiting room just staring down at their hand, it's terrible. I don't think you can PM here, Lazarus. I don't know what you did, but whatever it is, it's probably not a big deal. You like that quote, Kevin? Well, it's true. Guess it depends on the cut of wood. To some extent, I mean, end grain will take up water for sure, but it's still not breathing. Yeah, and so okay, it depends on the wood. So red oak is porous enough that you could actually draw air through it if you cut a thin piece and pull through the end grain. So it does depend on the wood. But briar is a very dense wood. Um, it just really doesn't breathe. Yeah, we all could use a break from the phones for sure. Um, it's more entertaining than twiddling your thumbs, but I used to go to doctors' offices and people would talk to one another. Now, if you talk to someone, and believe me, I'm not the kind of guy that strikes up a conversation, but if I did, um, they'd look at me like I was crazy. Couch, yes, Couch, we're members of the Ryobi posse. Yeah, Phil, that is correct. I mean, there is capillary action in wood and all that, but I'm talking about air moving through it, and also even that capillary action is limited. I mean, if a boat with untreated surface of wood is going to soak up some water, but it's going to stop soaking up water at some point. That those front end pores are going to get saturated, and it's just going to stop. Michael Case bought an old black dial phone. I'd love to have an old black dial phone. I miss phones being attached to the wall because it limited the amount of time you would spend on the phone. You'd have to sit there with it. That's a good point, Kevin. So I actually have Kindle on my phone, and I will sometimes read a book if I'm in a doctor's office or something like that. And sure, I then look like those people, but you can tell by the way their fingers moving that they're not reading a book. 1984, indeed. Yeah, that's a good comparison, Phil. Canvas tarp or tent. Yeah. So I want to tell you about my doctor's thing because that was kind of an interesting day. Uh, but before I get into that, I wanted to mention that next week, by popular demand, two people asked, we're going to do Stupid Joke Night. So it was a lot of fun last time we did it. We'll see how it goes this time. For this to work, I'm relying on you guys to come up with stupid jokes and send them to me. So my email was at the beginning of the video. I'll put it downstairs if I remember. But it's easy to find. It's on the About tab on my channel, and it is CaneRod Piper, which is my channel name, at gmail.com. So if you got a stupid joke, try to keep it family friendly, roughly. We're not a family show. Well, actually, sometimes folks have their kids watching, so yeah, I shouldn't say that. Some folks do watch this with their family, which is really weird to me. Like I just can't imagine a family sitting there with the big screen up watching me smoke a pipe. But apparently it happens. So try to keep them clean, and if you can't, I'll try to clean them up. But yeah, send me your stupid jokes, and I'll gather some up as well. And this should be fun. I have one that I've been wanting to tell for a while that is really stupid. I've told it to 3 people and none of them have laughed. So. Phil, too soon. Save it for next week. So I am going to switch over to the Mighty Hercules, which is the pipe I was smoking earlier today. And just because it's comfortable, I'm going to stick with Haunted Bookshop. Groovin' Piper, hey Cody. Yes, please send some of those dad jokes along. It's really important that you guys send me some jokes, otherwise this is not going to be fun. And Jim PM, yeah, no farmer's. You can send me the farmer's daughter's joke. I'll laugh at them. I'll try to clean them up, but we won't. We got to draw a line somewhere. Stanley Smith, yeah, Marksman's are nice pipes. Doug, I don't think I got that joke, so send it. And you know what? Nobody's going to remember the jokes from last year anyway, so it doesn't matter. We can do repeats. So I went to the doctor's. I was supposed to get a cortisone injection in my knee. So a couple weeks ago, I think I told you about this. So I've got a torn meniscus in my left knee, and it was painful. I mean, I was having trouble sleeping at night. It was hurting so badly. I could walk around, but like at the end of the day, I'd be walking back to my car from work, and it was, really hard to get to the car. And I drive a stick, so it's my clutch leg. So this was really bad, and I got in touch with the doctor. I said, it's time for another cortisone injection, because I've been getting them for, I don't know, 2 years now. And they set up an appointment for me, and the appointment was this Thursday, yesterday. And the day after I made that appointment, the pain disappeared, and it has not hurt since. And I have no explanation for it. But I thought, well, where did I put my lighter? Oh, I thought if I cancel this appointment, it's going to start hurting. So I'm going to keep the appointment, and I'm going to go in, and if nothing else, I'm going to say, why does this happen or something. Well, it never started hurting. And I went to the appointment yesterday. So I explained to the doctor what's going on, and he looks at me and says, so it doesn't hurt now? I said, no, it doesn't hurt. And he said, okay, let me examine you. So I jump up on the table, and he's like, squeezing my knee and stuff. He said, does that hurt? No. He bends my leg all the way up, like my knee is at my chin. He says, does that hurt? No. He said, okay. I get off the table, and he looks at me and says, so do you want a shot? I said, well, shouldn't you be making that call? So what we decided to do was, the answer from my point of view was no, I don't want a shot, because the cortisol actually does damage to your bones over time. And I know that I'm eventually going to need a knee replacement. I'm going to try to put it off as long as I can. And who knows, maybe I'll put it off forever, or at least for the rest of my life, which I guess would be forever. Yeah. I don't think we're going to need knee replacements in the afterlife. At least I hope we don't. So I didn't want the cortisone injection because I didn't need it, and I'm trying to limit them. And he told me that there's this other option, which is a hyaluronate injection. It's supposedly a viscoelastic type fluid that has hyaluronic acid in it, and I think it might be derived from chicken fat. I'm not quite sure about that, but anyway, you get these injections. You get 3 of them, 1 per week, for 3 weeks. This is out of fluid, and supposedly it can give you relief for up to 6 months, but sometimes it doesn't work. So since I'm not in pain, I'm going to get that injection and see how it goes. And he said if, a couple weeks after getting it, I start having pain, I can still get the cortisol. So yeah, that was my doctor's visit yesterday. But I'm still laughing at the look on his face when he said, do you want a shot? Fudhorn's still following Arnold around, Phil. That's amazing. All right, Tim, I'll check out the text later. Hyaluronic acid. Yeah, I think that's right, Phil. Yeah, it will come back, Jim. There's no cure for this. That's the problem. Sailor, I was thinking the same thing. I'm not sure if souls have legs. Oh, Doug, that's okay. I already cluck when I walk. Oh, is it rooster comb? That kind of makes sense because there's a lot of collagen and such in the rooster comb. So that would make sense, Ron. No, Pepe, I don't think it's a neuroblocker. It just provides some cushioning in the joint that's absent because of the tear in the meniscus. Oh, Gary, thanks for letting me know. It's good to hear that other people are doing it. All right, Ponderance of a Gravedigger, thanks for joining us tonight, buddy. You have a great weekend. This is true, Tim. I do have feet down below the knee. It is a big pipe, Doug. It looks bigger on video for some reason. Well, probably because I'm putting it closer to the camera than my head. But it is a pretty large pipe. I love it. Yeah, that's the way it is there, Steve. Kind of like going to get your car inspected. Your car's running fine. Tell me what's wrong with it. Beef collagen. Yeah, I've been doing a lot of bone broths, Jim, and I I can't say it helps, but it doesn't hurt. I don't. Phil, I don't think that taping foot horn to my knee would help, but it would sure look funny. So, thanks, Pepe. Osteobiflex with turmeric and black pepper. Give it a try, Gary. You don't think it's as big as the Peterson house pipe, Gary? Yeah, name that pipe. I've done glucosamine and things like that in the past. They're okay. I think you get to a point where those things just aren't going to work. What has helped enormously has been, cleaning up my diet and losing weight. Just less stress on the joint. Um, but you know, and I don't mean to complain too much. I mean, compared to what some other guys are going through, this is minor. It's obviously if I can put it off, I can live with it. Tim uses a vegetarian glucosamine. I wonder what that's derived from. Do you know what it's derived from, Tim? I'm just curious. Yeah, the diet is really important. And I've told you guys before, my wife and I did this functional medicine thing that I honestly thought was a bunch of, well, the kind of things that normally end that sentence. And what I was most surprised by was, so we went 90 days, we eliminated all sorts of stuff from our diet. Like, we were eating very, very clean for 90 days. So no gluten, no processed foods, just very clean eating. And then you get to a point where you start reintroducing things. And it was amazing to me how awful I felt the first time I ate an egg. I didn't know I had a sensitivity to eggs. And I can eat them now. I've sort of built a tolerance. It took me 3 or 4 eggs before I felt normal after eating one. My wife never knew she had a problem with gluten, and she cannot eat gluten now. So what does that tell you? Well, it tells you that you're walking around with all these things affecting you, and you've just gotten used to it. And some days you just feel lousy, and it's probably because you got all these things affecting you. And it was a hard lesson for me to learn because I'm a biologist. I like to think I understand how things work, and I just didn't believe that this was going to make a difference, but it really did. Diet is extremely important. Oh, Tim, you got a seafood allergy. That makes sense because yeah, the glucosamine I think is often from like well, chondroitin is from like crab and lobster shells and things like that. 151 does definitely help, Gary, and I see sailors agreeing. Oh, there's barking upstairs. I wonder what that's all about. My wife is still in Pittsburgh, so I might have to go and see what's going on up there. We'll try yelling. Isabel, be good. They went out right before I came downstairs, so I don't think it's a yard problem. It's just she's lonely. Corvette Jim wants me to shoot some Everclear. Should we try getting Google to quiet her down? Oh, shoot. This, I think it spooks her more than anything. Hey, Google. Broadcast.
What's the message?
Isabel, be a good girl. Lay down.
Okay, broadcasting now.
We'll see if that works. We've got the speakers in a couple different places around the house, and sometimes I do that at night and it just quiets her down. I imagine her just looking around like trying to figure out where the voice came from. Wow. Rum and Coke with a shot of 151 on top. That's interesting. Chondroitin sulfate sodium. Yeah, I'm just wondering what it's harvested from, what it is harvested from, Tim. But don't worry about it. It's just my own curiosity. Crap you can't pronounce. Well, that's okay, as long as it works for you. It's the fox looking in the window. Yeah, but it might be. You know, I got to mention this this Sunday, but if you watch my Sunday video or if you follow me on Instagram, we had a fox walk by while I was out in the yard with the dogs, and this thing just came trotting right by the fence, and it freaked them out. They really were upset about this. And we do the yard at the same time every Sunday, but this past Sunday we didn't. I can't remember why it was late. Oh, it was cold. It was too darn cold. So I did it later in the day. So I don't know if the people that walk by were walking by, and I told that story in my Sunday video. But when I was out there with them cleaning the yard, they normally would be nosing around and, you know, just doing what dogs do. They were both laying by the fence, looking down the street in the direction the fox came, waiting, because they needed to protect me from the fox. They're amazing animals, very, very loyal. All you hippies discovered alcohol in 1970, huh, Doug? Yeah, Michael, honestly, I've not been doing that a lot lately. He's asking about my Sunday morning cigars. That used to be a ritual, but I've moved to more. I'm more active on Sunday mornings these days. Just the way things have kind of evolved. It was partly because of. I hate to blame things on this, but the whole COVID lockdown thing and all that, it disrupted my schedule, and I just got into this habit of dealing with yard cleanup and things like that on Sunday morning and spending more time with the dogs and all that. So I'm not just sitting down and enjoying some coffee and smoking a cigar anymore. I'm walking around, usually smoking a pipe while I'm working out in the yard. So now, or this summer, what I was doing was Sunday evenings. I would go out after dinner and have a cigar. Not every Sunday, but quite a few. And now it's too cold for that. So I don't know if I'm going to be having many cigars from this point out until the weather breaks again in the spring. Jim PM is moving on to Watch City Deluxe Crumble Cake. 2-hour excursion ahead. Good for you, Jim. Hyaluronic acid can be bought in a capsule. Yeah, Gary, but I think it has to actually go in the joint because it's not hyaluronic acid. It's not acting like a drug. It's acting like a replacement for the fluid that's lost in the joint. And why hyaluronic acid and not something else, I don't know. Really, Everett, that's quite a story. It was a wolf looking in the window. Jeez. Oh, thank you, Tim. I appreciate that offer. Um, yeah, I can smoke a cigar here. I actually had a cigar the other night. It was Sunday night. I smoked a cigar in the house. Uh, I my wife doesn't like it when I do it, but she'll let me do it. I don't like it when I do it, to be honest, because the smell just lingers for so long and it gets in your clothes and stuff. But I can always come down here and smoke a cigar. I've got an air filter. I can open up the windows down here, and I do that sometimes. But I don't know. I've kind of come to the point where I enjoy the pipes more. Yes, cube cut does burn slow, Jim. It's one of the nice things about it. The other funny thing about the doctor I wanted to mention is, have any of you guys had this experience where you tell the doctor what's going on? So 2 weeks ago I had pain. I called to make the appointment. The pain resolved shortly after I made the appointment, but I decided to keep it because I wanted to talk to you about it. That seems pretty straightforward to me. And he's typing the whole time because everything has to be typed onto the computer immediately. Um, and he looks up at me and says, "So you had pain until today?" And I got to explain it again. And for some reason, when this happens, I feel like I've made the mistake. I don't know why. It's just the bizarre psychological thing. I guess we surrender authority to the doctor because he's the doctor, and we just assume that he's got to be right. But it wasn't my fault. I explained it perfectly well. He just wasn't listening. I guess I do need a smoking jacket. Yeah, I like some of the Rocky Patels. I really like the Edge Missile Maduro is a nice cigar. I'm not a big Maduro fan, but I like that one a lot. It's nice and spicy. Gurkhas, I've had some good ones and some not so good ones. Oh, that's fantastic, Couch. Ilva's back on the doggy bones. Ilva had her was it both of her canines removed or just one, Couch? She had a tooth ring. Yeah, Everett, I love that dark horse. I'm gonna, if I ever clear out some of these bags of tobacco, I found 14 bags of tobacco on my desk. I'm gonna pull out a jar of the dark horse that I've got in the cellar because you got me missing it. Jim loves Maduros. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a. Occasionally, I really enjoy a Maduro. Um, and the really dark ones are quite good, in my opinion. But it's not something I want every cigar. Yeah, Gary, it happens all the time. Both canines. Wow. Is she conscientious about her smile now, Couch? Tim is a Maduro guy. Jeffrey Feinberg, thank you for joining us tonight, my friend. You have a great weekend. And I've just been watching Doug Owen and Sailor have this back and forth about drunken navigation, which has been quite entertaining. Sumatran I like a lot, Jim. I really like the Leaf Sumatra. Bear Wolf and Miss Kathy, thank you folks for joining us. You have a great weekend, my friends. We'll catch you later. We got 8 minutes to go and I got some drinking to do. Daniel Leslie, how you doing, buddy? Great to see you. Oh, it wore off. She's barking again. Poor thing. Well, we'll be done soon. Yeah, Gary, I'm getting to be that way too. Says most of the tobaccos he smokes could be all day smokes. I, I get a lot of these, people will say, oh, have you tried this? You really should try it. And I'll say, yeah, I'm going to have to put that on the list. And I sincerely mean it. But when it comes time to order, I like what I got. And I don't know. Are these, new releases and small batches and everything else? If that's your thing, that's great. But me, it seems like more and more, whatever I'm smoking, I'm thinking this is fine, but it's not Haunted Bookshelf. Name that pipe. You have a great weekend too, buddy. Daniel had a delivery to make. Understood, Daniel. It's nice of you to show up anyway. I'll tell you one more quick story. Something happened to me yesterday. I went to the grocery store. And as I'm leaving, no, it was Wednesday, because it was after I went fishing. And I'm leaving the grocery store, I'm putting my bags in the back of my car, and a guy in a van pulls up, like I'm parked and he's driving down the driving lane in the parking lot. And he stops behind me. I, can feel that there's something stopped behind me. And I hear, he actually said, hey boss, which was my first, concern, because you shouldn't address people like that. So I turn around and look, and there's this young guy, probably in his mid-20s. And I said, yes. And he said, do you want a home theater system? And I said, no. And he said, no? Are you sure? I said, yeah. He said, okay, because they loaded one up, and I don't have any place to deliver it to, and I don't know what to do with it. And I said, well, I don't want one. He said, oh, okay, thanks. And he drove away. And I thought, man, that's got to be some kind of a scam. You don't just randomly stop people at a grocery store parking lot and asked them if they want a home theater system. So, I don't know. Maybe he was trying to tempt me into his van and he knew I wasn't the candy type. Gary Edminster's been out since 1991? Yes, Tim, I can do magic. And you know, you're the one who can put out the fire? I don't know. Yes, Doug, I have had that Romeo y Julieta with the Sumatra wrapper, and it is quite good. The van was not down by the river, although it might have been headed down by the river. Yeah, Daniel, I'm guessing it was stolen, but it was a weird interaction. You know, if I knew the address of the local police station, I would have told him to meet me there. That's a good point, Sailor. It just seemed odd because, you know, there's a lot of elderly people in the area I live in, and I just imagine some 80-year-old guy thinking, hey, I got a deal here or something. God only knows what would have happened. Corvette Jim's heading for meds in bed. Well, Jim, you take care, buddy, and have a great weekend too. Nice of you to join us tonight. Tim, is that when I hypnotize with those eyes? Tim and I are doing Alan Parsons' project now. You know, Tim, every time we do that, I look over at the viewership and it drops by 10. Yeah, we're dropping off quickly, which is fine. We've been going for an hour and a half now. But gonna wrap up. I really appreciate you guys joining me tonight. It was a lot of fun. I hope you all had a good time and are looking forward to a great weekend. I will be back on Sunday. I think I'm going to talk about a movie that I saw. Good movie. Yeah, I'll do that on Sunday. We'll be back next week with I almost said dirty joke night. That wouldn't have been good. Stupid joke night. So if you got stupid jokes, please send me an email and I'll include them. And if you want to type them in the chat, we can do that too. But it's better if you can send them ahead of time. All right, Michael. I'll look forward to those. So, folks, with that, I'm going to call it to an end. Thank you so much again. You'll have a great weekend, and we'll talk soon.